Hello YouTube, Lester Kronos Strolling Bones here. Been a few days. I've been marinating. This is going to be a video about player character death. It's kind of brought about by a few comments and a video made by Rabbit95823 or Mark. Very good video, awesome fellow. He's got some really good points. I disagree with several of them. I definitely disagree with his one point that all players are power gamers to a degree. I definitely disagree with that. A power gamer is the type of person, in my opinion, who plays the rules, who plays the numbers. They don't play the game. It's said really good. I believe it's in the introduction for the Game of Thrones D20 game. Pretty sure that's where it is, but it talks about how storytelling is the most important portion of role-playing. So I definitely disagree that all players power game. I'm a player. I mean, I'm more of a game master than a player, but I don't power game. I disagree with that. Now, will I make a character who can fight? Well, if the character's story is that he's a fighter, or if he gets into an experience where fighting is necessary and he's brave, then I'm going to play him like he fights. Am I going to create a character who's going to die easily? Not necessarily. I have created characters in the past, seriously, with flaws, just to see how they'd meet their demise. One of my characters got thrown in the dungeon because I had terrible fellowship skills or charisma skills, and I basically broke a bunch of rules of court and had my character thrown in jail, and the sentence was such that I just couldn't play that character again. I thought that was clever on the part of the game master, because my character wasn't very charismatic, didn't know the rules of the specific court, and you know, shit happens. But on to the main topic. The main topic is player character death. Now, there's some serious stigma behind Dungeons and Dragons especially, but role-playing games when it comes to player death. In the 80s, I don't know any of the names of the people, I haven't done my research, but I do know that several people committed suicide and or were killed, and it was claimed that Dungeons & Dragons was the reason behind the deaths. Now, I definitely disagree with this. I think that it is the terrible society that we have built around us, especially here in the West, that leads to these things. Greater depression, a smaller understanding of people, confusion in one's role in society. When money is the most important thing, things fall apart really quickly. Several of these kids were highly intelligent, but ostracized for their intelligence or their differences. So I don't think that the fact that their characters died or that they played role-playing games really led to them, to their mortal demise, if you will. But that's one of the problems with player death, and one of the things I think that kind of turns people who aren't necessarily aware of role-playing games and the breadth of creativity that they offer and experience. I think a lot of them are scared because of that, just that underlying stigma about the game. That being said, though, what we want to talk about is people who actually play the game and what they should do when their characters die, or how they should take it. Now, I'm not going to go about telling people how they should play games or live their life. However, player character death happens. Your character dies. He will die. I have never played in a campaign where my character has not died. Now, my character didn't necessarily die by the sword. Sometimes bad decisions. One time it was a fall. One time my character died of old age, but he still died. Your characters are going to die, and I think that that is something that should be embraced by the players. It's an opportunity for you to role play. It's a great opportunity for role play. There's amazing death scenes in so many cool movies out there, and part of what we do as role players is act. Part of what we're doing is telling a story similar to a movie, but doing it in a game or a social setting. And I think that not only is it an awesome chance for role play, but it is also another chance to exercise, in my opinion, what is pretty much the most paramount ability, not necessarily ability, that's the wrong word, the most paramount skill or action that a player has, and that is character creation. It is a chance for them to exercise their storytelling capabilities. It's a chance for them to explore the depth and little nuances that all of these games have to offer. I mean, it's boring to play the same type of character. I've been guilty at times playing older editions of Dungeons and Dragons. I was guilty of playing Rangers and Druids almost exclusively until I grew up a little bit and started game mastering myself on a more frequent occasion. But I have to say that character death happens, and character death should be accepted and run with. You have a chance to create a character. Again, like I said, explore storytelling. That is the whole purpose. The game master, as Mark so aptly put, gets all these things. He gets to create the world, bring it up to life, create NPCs, create all sorts of beautiful things, and they have a very good creative outlet, whereas he says that a player's only creative outlet is their character, and I disagree. I say that a player's creative outlet comes from their characters and the way they interact with the story, and the way they help the story along, and the way they create the story themselves. So, that being said, character death should be accepted as an inevitable outcome, and it should be played up. When your character dies, it's an opportunity, unless of course it's a bullshit circumstance. I had a friend one time who fell off a wagon, was run over by the wagon, and the wagon just so happened to deal enough damage to kill him. Actually, it was 3 critical hits, which killed him, and it was super unlucky. One of the most unlucky circumstances I've ever seen in a role-playing game. His character died. He was a little miffed because he put a lot of effort into his character, and that did kind of make him fall away from the game until we all explained to him, well, you can just create a new character. We're not going to penalize you at all for creating a new character as long as you can work that character into the story. That is the main thing. I can understand not allowing a guy to make a character again, like immediately, if his character dies, say halfway through a session, and you're in the middle of a dungeon. Well, woe is the player. Although I have seen it and heard of it being done before, where the player goes off, creates a new character, writes them into the story, and brings them in somehow. One time, I had a character die, and I wrote it in, and I was allowed to make a new character. We were just barely beginning a dungeon, and I sprung a trap, and it killed my character. It was a poison that killed my character. We were really early on, like starting out characters. So what I did is I wrote my character, my new character, into the story as having been a captive of the hobgoblins who had infested this cavern that we were delving into. And I'd been captured and I was chained. So I created this character. I had no possessions except for the tattered clothes on my back. But I created a character. And he survived, and I went on to play several sessions with this character. Player death. Not player death, sorry. That's bad form. Player character death is integral. It happens, it's important, it can drive stories. Some of the best stories ever told in role-playing games or in real life are about people who have sacrificed themselves for the common good or for their fellows. There are all sorts of stories of bravado and sacrifice out there. So players, if you are interested, if you're interested in playing role-playing games, or if you're a frustrated player because your character keeps dying, don't resort to power gaming. Realize that as a player, one of your driving tools is character creation. That's how you affect the story. So you just create a new character, create a better character. And not mechanically. It gives you a chance to explore the story from a different angle. So that being said, I think you shouldn't fret or panic when your character dies. As a game master, you should make it known to the players that the possibility of their character dying is high, so that they're prepared for it. Even if it isn't high, you need to let them know that it is a possibility so that they're prepared for it when it happens, and lay out the options for them if their character does die. And don't make it seem like such a bad thing. This is a great opportunity to have that character make an impact on the story in a huge way, if the character dies. Well, that's my 2 cents on character death. I hope you guys are interested in this theme. I think Mark brings up a good point. It is something that should be discussed because of past experiences that I'm sure all of us have had. Either A, as narrators or game masters with our players' characters dying, or as players with our own characters dying. And it happens. And one thing I really like about the Warhammer world is it's gritty and it's dark and it's dim, and it should be expected that your character, who is not a heroic character for the most part, is going to die. It has a possibility of dying, especially if they take on the life of an adventurer. It's a high risk, high reward profession, so be prepared to die. And as a game master, let your players know that, but also let them know the options they have if their character does die. Well, Mark, it's too bad the Kings kicked the shit out of the Sharks in Game 2. Looks like my Canadians are doing all right, but I'm still not holding out hope that they're going to win the series. Boston's a solid team, and unless Montreal is super tough, I'm a little worried for them still. But hopefully the Sharks managed to at least make a series of it. Sure didn't show up last game. But I really like your comments, man. Keep them coming, keep the videos coming. I also want to make a quick shout out to Brian, or BG Trokia. He just started making videos. He's doing it in like a vlog kind of fashion, which I like. I really like the way he delivers his information, and he's full of all sorts of interesting little tidbits in his first 4 videos. So welcome him to the community, guys. And I also want to welcome Master of Flowers, or John. He's somebody who has been posting on the forums for quite some time without making videos, and now he's putting them forward, and I really like his character too. So hi guys, welcome to the community, and peace. Keep gaming. Strolling Bones out.